Chapter 5. The Quiet Lake Within. There is a place we used to go on summer vacation, Lake Tahoe, that I have always loved, not because it is famous, not because it is large, but because on the certain mornings before the wind awakens, its surface becomes so still that the sky seems to forget where it ends and the water begins. Clouds drift across it, snow-covered mountains stand upside down. The first birds of the morning fly over the water without disturbing its silence. If someone arrived at the lake carrying anger, they might say the morning feels lonely. Another person carrying peace in her heart would call the very same place sacred. The lake has not chosen either experience, it simply receives whatever stands before it. For many years, I believed life worked differently. I thought happiness came from fortunate circumstances. I believed disappointment was caused by difficult people. I assumed success belonged to those who had somehow been chosen by destiny. Then life became my greatest teacher. Not in classrooms, not in books, but through ordinary days, through conversations, through disappointments, through unexpected blessings that arrive wearing the clothes of hardship. Gradually, I noticed something remarkable. Two people could walk along exactly the same road and arrive home carrying entirely different stories. One remembered only the dots. The other remembered the wild flowers growing beside the path. The road had offered both. Each traveler gathered what their eyes had been searching for. Perhaps life has always been like this, not deciding what we should believe, simply allowing us to discover what we already believe. When I was young, I often wondered why some people seem surrounded by kindness, while others constantly encounter conflict. Surely they were living in different worlds, but they were not. They live in the same neighborhoods, worked at the same offices, shop at the same markets. Their lives cross the same streets every day, yet somehow their experiences appear completely different. As I grew older, I stopped studying circumstances. Instead, I began listening to conversations. I noticed how quietly beliefs reveal themselves. Some people introduce themselves to every new situation carrying invisible sentences. People will disappoint me. There is never enough. Nothing ever works out. These sentences were rarely spoken out loud. They had become so familiar that they sounded like truth. Others carry different sentences. I wonder what I can learn today. There is always another possibility. Perhaps this difficulty is opening a better door. Neither possess magical powers. They simply look through different windows, and every window frames a different view. Our minds are extraordinary storytellers. Every second, they receive more information than we could ever consciously process. The sound of distant traffic, the movement of leaves, a joyous laughter, the expression on someone's face, the warmth of sunlight, the sense of fresh coffee. The human brain cannot hold all of it at once. So it quietly asks one question: what is important? The answer depends upon what we already expect to find. If we expect rejection, our attention becomes an expert at discovering rejection. If we expect generosity, our attention notices open hands. The word contains both. Our awareness simply collects different evidence. I once heard someone say that life keeps giving us proof of whatever we choose to believe. At first, I thought that sounded too simple. Years later, I realized it was deeply profound. Not because life changes, because attention changes. The Swiss psychologist Carl Jung believed that much of what we experience outside ourselves is connected to what lives unseen within us. He spent a lifetime exploring the hidden landscape of the unconscious mind. He understood that human beings rarely see the world exactly as it is. We see it through memories, through own wounds, through hope, through fear, through childhood, through love. Imagine wearing a pair of glasses with a faint blue tint since the day you were born. After enough years, you would forget the lenses even existed. Blue would simply become the way the world is. Many of our beliefs function exactly like those invisible lenses. They become so familiar that we mistake them for reality itself. I learned this lesson while watching the little children in the daycare where I worked on one autumn afternoon. The wind had scattered hundreds of maple leaves across the yard. To me, they were beautiful, gold, amber, crimson, and each looked like a tiny painting created by God. One child immediately began gathering the brightest leaves in his hand. Another looked around and complained there was nothing interesting to do. Standing only a few feet apart, they inhabited entirely different worlds. The leaves have not changed, only their curiosity. That afternoon stayed with me, not because of the children, because adults rarely notice we continue doing the same thing. Some people collect reasons to be discouraged, others collect reasons to be grateful. Day after day, year after year, those collections quietly become their lives. One of the greatest gifts we possess is not intelligence, not talent, not even determination. It is the ability to choose a better question. Instead of asking, why does this always happen to me? We might ask, what is this experience trying to teach me? Instead of asking, what have I lost? We might gently wonder what still remains. Questions direct attention. Attention shapes experience. Experience slowly becomes identity. A single question repeated over many years can quietly alter the direction of an entire life. As I reflect upon my own journey from Vietnam to America, from uncertainty to belonging, from raising children to watching grandchildren chase butterflies across the grass, I realized that the greatest transformations rarely happen outside me. The worst change, certainly. Countries change, technology change. My hair turned silver. The little girl I once was became a grandmother. Yet the biggest changes happen in silence. They happen whenever I release an old belief that no longer served me. Whenever I forgave, whenever I trusted again after disappointment, whenever I choose gratitude while circumstances were still unfinished. Those invisible decisions reshape the visible world far more than I understood at the time. The American author Wayne Dyer often reminded us that when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at seem to change. Not because mountains move, not because rivers flow backward, but because our hearts have learned a new language. A hopeful heart notices possibilities. A grateful heart notices gifts. A peaceful heart notices beauty that hurry eyes overlook. The world has always contained these treasures. They simply become visible to the person prepared to receive it. Sometimes I think God designed the human mind much like a gardener prepares soil. Whatever seeds receive our daily attention eventually become the strongest plants. If we water resentment every morning, resentment grows deep roots. If we water appreciation, appreciation quietly spreads until it shades the entire garden of our life. The soil does not argue, it simply nourishes whatever we consistently plant. Our minds possess the same quiet faithfulness. They become what we repeatedly cultivate. Perhaps this is why wisdom is less about acquiring new knowledge than about seeing with new eyes. The world we wake up tomorrow will likely look much like the world we left tonight. The same sunrise, the same neighbors, same challenges, the same possibilities, yet one gentle shift inside us can illuminate details that yesterday remained hidden, like the still mountain lake before dawn. The clearer our inner waters become, the more faithfully they reveal the beauty already surrounding us. The sky does not need to become bluer. The mountains do not need to become taller. The lake simply needs to become still enough to receive them. Perhaps the same is true of the human heart. When fear settles, when judgment grows quiet, when gratitude softens our vision, light begins revealing gifts that were present all along. Not because the world suddenly became more generous, but because at last we learn how to see it. Thank you so much, and I hope you click like and subscribe to my channel to look forward to next chapter.